This is one of the key economic terms in the Quran, rizq. The Quran has certain economic terms. One of the most fundamental economic terms in the Quran is rizq. We're all familiar with rizq. And rizq is two kinds. There's spiritual rizq. Your teacher is a rizq. This guidance is rizq. Your parents are rizq. The sadaqah you're able to give, the good intention, all of that is rizq from Allah. But the other rizq from Allah is literally the food on your plate, right? The produce that you're enjoying. And by the way, in the previous ayah, I failed to mention, when Allah mentions the rain, the earth, and the crop, and you and your animals, you go home tonight, maybe how many people already had dinner? Show of hands? Shame on you. Okay. That means you're going to be sleeping. So, you should have come hungry. Anyway, when you're about to eat dinner, it's either going to be meat or it's going to be vegetables. I mean, there's not a lot of variety. There's some kind of meat or some kind of vegetables. How did that meat get on your plate? How did that vegetable reach your plate? It started with rain, crop grew, the animal ate that crop, the animal got slaughtered, the crop got picked, that got processed, put in a factory, stored, transported. We don't know. Maybe the fruit you're eating has traveled 1,000 miles. And the meat you're eating was flown in from, I don't know, New Zealand. God knows where, right? I was recently talking to somebody in Qatar who had they had a dairy shortage because obviously it's Qatar. They don't exactly have cows hanging out in the desert. So they have to fly poultry and even sometimes animals in. They have to fly in animals by the hundreds of thousands. And if there's a conflict zone in the region and there are no-fly zones, that becomes a life or death problem for food import, right? So this is even the entire supply chain was mentioned very simply in this ayah. But then Allah mentions, وَسَخَّرَ لَكُمُ الْفُلْكِ لِتَجْرِيَ فِي الْبَحْرِ بِأَمْرِهِ وَسَخَّرَ لَكُمُ الْأَنْهَارِ Allah surrendered the ships so they work for you, and Allah surrendered the rivers so they can work for you. So there are two bodies now. The ship, because the ship didn't have to have buoyancy and it didn't have to float. Allah made it float. And then the rivers didn't have to cooperate with you. The waves could move in a way that always crash you into the side of the land. So now the waterworks are cooperating with you, and the ship is cooperating with you. 90% of the trade that's happening in the world is happening through the water. Most of the goods we enjoy that are coming from everywhere and the import-export in the world is taking place in the water, right? And we don't have the means to carry that large sum, the container ships that are coming at the docks in so many nations. None of that is possible without the waterworks, without the water pathways. And Allah this is some of the most fundamental concepts in the Quran. And then I'll take it, this is the more direct resources, but I'm going to have you think about another ayah here. انظروا إلى ثمره إذا أثمر وينعه إن في ذلك لآيات لقوم يؤمنون. Look at the fruit when it becomes ripe, when it's first coming out, and when it becomes mature. The word fruit in the Quran isn't just used for fruit. It's actually also used for investments. Remember, I'm giving you a second economic term. What was the first economic term? Rizq. Now we're getting another term. What's that? Fruit, thamar, rizq. You can remember fruit, it's fine. Fruit in the Quran isn't just about a garden and an orange and an apple or a mangosteen. The fruit in the Quran is about an investment, because even the garden actually is real estate, then it's human resources, then it's maintenance and investment and nurturing and security and all of that. And then there's a supply chain because you have to pick the fruit, and there's timelines, there's sales. There's deadlines for the sales because the fruit's going to go bad. And all of that, in the end, the person who reaps the benefit of that investment is the gardener. So they finally get to have the fruit. When the gardener enjoys the fruit of the garden, it doesn't just mean he grows oranges and he eats the orange. It means he enjoys the income that came from the orange garden or the garden grove. You understand? So now what is Allah even hinting at? Allah is talking about, look at how I create investment opportunities for you that sprout, they start, and then they reach maturity. There's a startup company, it has a little bit of revenue, then it's able to franchise, it's able to grow, and it's able to create jobs and create an entire industry, or lead and pioneer an entire industry. This is something Allah wants us to contemplate. This is the next step after the natural resources, is the business development in the world that Allah even hinted at. Okay.